what is going on in the Pokemon single card market at the end of January. New year, are these cards going to be going up? Are they going to be going down? This is going to be interesting because we got some really surprising results. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so today we are going back into the single card market to take a look at a bunch of cards which have been moving. It is the end of January, you know, a lot of the cards have been going up and down. Most of them been going down. However, there have been some outliers as well with them going up and surprising cards going up in value, which is quite interesting. So we're looking at Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet era today. There are some big movements. Let's check it out. Today we are taking a look at the Giratina V-Star. Now this is from Lost Origin. This card's been going up, right? This card is very popular in the TCG and that's had an impact on the value. I mean, I've been playing the deck myself and I absolutely love the deck. It's awesome. So this has been going up, and to be fair, it did actually drop, but it's kind of bounced back a little bit. So it was around $16 or $15 back in August. So we go back a year, we can see this card. So it actually went up pretty high, you know, from around $4 up to 16, so quadrupled in value because the deck was so popular. Then it dropped, and now it's back on the rise again from $4 now to $9. Hey, look, that's pretty good for a V-Star. You know, Lost Origin, we know, is a fantastic set. On top of that, you know, getting the certain cards is quite tricky. This is just a normal V-Star, so we're not talking about rainbows or anything like that. That's pretty good. We saw it with the Entei in a couple of months ago now, with the Entei V shot up massively just because of the playability and Brilliant Stars. Hey look, Giratina doing really well. You wouldn't think a V-Star would be worth that much, but it's pretty good going. You know, a card that's doubled in value over the past couple of months. I mean, yes, it's fallen from its absolute high back in the, you know, August time, but now it is on the uptick. So card double in value, $9, pretty good going. All right, speaking of a card that's not doing quite well, is the Roaring Moon Special Illustration Rare from Paradox Rift. Now, Paradox Rift at the moment is everywhere. It is also super cheap to buy. Products are tough though. They're not easy. You know, big set, very similar to Paldea Evolved. You know, to get these top end cards is going to be tough. But if the set is so cheap and it's so easy to just crack packs, of course the cards are going to drop. It's only a matter of time, right? This is sitting at $75. This card at one point was the most expensive card in Scarlet and Violet era. Then it was, you know, overtaken by the Charizard from 151, but it was still higher than the Iono. Now it's less than the Iono at 75. And as you can see over the past 3 months, this hasn't been out much, you know, long really. 115 down to 75, dropped $40 already. I mean, this card shot up out of the gate. So basically, it's exactly where it is, where it came out. It came out at 75, now at 75. All of this was basically undone. So that's actually quite interesting, that the fact this card's dropped by like, what, 40%? That is tough. I do expect this card to be dropping even more with more and more packs being opened. Where will it sell? Who knows? Like I say, beautiful card, tough to pull, but packs are super cheap. I mean, you could buy booster boxes even over here for 90 a box. So it's very, very cheap, and fantastic set though. Absolutely brilliant. But hey look, it is dropping. Right, we're going to 151 and we're looking at the Squirtle. Squirtle's been doing well. He's been doing well. 151 across the board, to be honest, has been surprising me. You know, this set is being opened left, right and center. The supply is still, I don't think, really matching the demand. And on top of that, people cracking up so many packs, and the pull rates are tough, and these cards are going up in value. I mean, this is just a normal illustration rare. This boy, over the past 3 months, has gone from $22 to $30. It is now the same value, pretty much the same value as the Charmander. Incredible. Look at this. I mean, this card was $12 when it came out, and now, yeah, look at it, $30. Done incredibly well. Obviously, you have the God packs where you can get the Squirtle, Wartortle, Blastoise. We did that in a stream recently. Beautiful card. This is actually my favorite out of the 3 stars. I think it's absolutely amazing. Well, doing really well. You know, Charmander's doing really well. A lot of the illustration rares and the special illustration rares are holding value. There isn't really much movement compared to how much the set is being opened, which is a good sign. It means that in the future, when the set starts to run dry, these cards, they're going to be going up. So yeah, it is going to be an interesting one, but it is doing incredibly well. Okay, now we're going to look at a card that isn't doing very well, and this is the regular Charizard EX from Obsidian Flames. Now, this is just a bulk standard EX. This isn't anything special. This card is actually quite easy to pull from Obsidian Flames. Still $15. $15 for a normal EX is very, very good. Over the past 3 months, it has dropped from 18. It did actually drop to as low as 12 and then bounce back up. And then at 6 months, basically when the set came out, it had a lot of hype behind it because it was a massively playable card. Still is, but obviously there's a lot more out of it, you know, out and about now. $30 down to 15, so it's dropped 50%. since its release, and that's quite tough. But Obsidian Flames has really good pull rates. It's a small set. You're going to be hitting these Charizards, and we've seen it across the board with Obsidian Flames. Although Obsidian Flames booster boxes are actually going up in value compared to all the other Scarlet and Violet era, the cards are dropping. I mean, the big boy Charizard is like 55. The fact is, this has dropped 50% from 30. You know, a lot of hype behind it, a lot of playability, and then now it's $15. Still 15 for a normal EX is very good. We can't deny that, guys. We can't ignore the fact that, you know, it's dropped by 50%, but $15 is very good value for a normal EX. One of the most expensive cards in the set, to be honest. So, and it's quite easy to pull because it is an EX. So that might be somewhat worth opening up some Obsidian Flames, you know. So it's one thing to look out for. Okay, now we go into Crown Zenith. We got the Alessa Sparkle Full Art. Now, Crown Zenith, pretty much all the cards across the board have been dropping in value. Some of them quicker than others. Some of them have been holding off quite well. Like the Golden Arceus has been holding off quite well. The Golden Palkia has actually gone up a little bit. It's gone up by about $5 to $10, which is actually pretty good. Giratina is still falling. Mewtwo's still falling. So a lot of these, you know, big cards in the set are falling. Now, this isn't in the Galarian Gallery slot. This is just in the normal set where you can find that secret rare Pikachu and a bunch of other like EXs and a bunch of other V cards and stuff like that. So the Alessa Sparkle, it was the most expensive trainer card in the set, to be fair. Over the past 6 months, it has fallen from 26 down to 18. We go back over the past year and we can see this card going from as high as 32, 33, now down to 18. So nearly a 50% drop for this trainer card. I have never pulled this card. I've opened up hundreds of packs of Crown Zenith, pulled a ton of gold cards, multiple copies of the gold cards, but I've never pulled this card ever. So it's really interesting to, you know, not see it, to be honest. So yeah, this is a beautiful card though. It's dropping in value. You know, Crown Zenith, it is a good set, great set to open, but even the biggest cards in this set will continue to drop due to just the amount of stock and the pull rates, even though this one has been pretty difficult. Going across back to Scarlet and Violet, we have the Squawkabilly from Paldea Evolved. Now, I've been talking about Paldea Evolved so much recently just because it is a very good set, to be honest. I think it's very good. You know, it has great cards, great playable cards, and you have the Ino as well. There's a special illustration rare. This has been doing really well. $17 over the past 6 months. It did actually drop to 9, then it shot up, doubled in value. Very, very good. We go back for when this card first came out, about $14, and then it just kind of slowly decayed in value, and then it's only had a nice little resurgence recently, which is fantastic. Good playable card, cool artwork, to be fair. Haven't pulled it. I don't think we've, no, I don't think we have pulled it. But yeah, so Paldea Evolved, you know, booster boxes are cheap right now. A lot of the cards holding good value in Paldea Evolved. The Magikarp's doing very well, Granitar's doing very well. They're normal illustration rares. The Full Art Trainer Iono is holding and doing very well. Across the board, Paldea Evolved is actually doing very, very well. That alongside 151 at the moment is like the two strong pillars that's somewhat holding up Scarlet and Violet right now. And they're both sets are doing very, very well. And this is another example of a playable card. And, you know, Scarlet and Violet era just has a ton of playable cards which hold good value. And then finally, we have the Gengar Alt Art VMAX. Now, pretty much all the Alt Arts in the Sword and Shield era have been falling in price. From the Lugia, the Giratina, to the Charizard, to the Moonbryons, to even the Blaziken. Everything has been falling like crazy. Gengar, however, no. Gengar's been doing the opposite compared to all of these. It is defying the odds, and it is on the rise. $218 for this big boy, basically $220. Look at this, it actually dropped to $180 and then shot up. If we go back over the past 6 months, this card is climbing. We go back over the past year and it is at its all-time high. This is the 4th most expensive card in the Sword and Shield era. We have the Moonbryon at number 1, we have the Rayquaza holding in at number 2, Giratina is now dropped to number 3, and then we have Gengar. I actually think Gengar will eventually overtake the Giratina at this rate, just because this is such a difficult card to pull. It is so difficult. I mean, we haven't pulled either Giratina or Gengar, but Fusion Strike is getting a bit harder to get hold of. Booster packs are getting more expensive, and the set is brutal. It is probably one of the hardest sets to pull the top cards from. I mean, we have opened up on this channel, I would say, best part of 500, 600 booster packs, maybe even more of Fusion Strike, and we have never pulled any of the Alt Art VMAXs. None. Not the Gengar, not the Espeon, and not the Mew. Pulled all the others, but those 3 cards are the only 3 we've never pulled, and it shows in the value of this card. The fact it is sitting at $220. I also feel like another impact in the value of this card, and probably some of the others in this set, is of course with the whole problem we had a few months ago of all these cards showing up from Fusion Strike, all these top end cards, you know, appearing, being sold left, right and center, you know, some shady stuff. And I think that might have had some impact. I wouldn't say it's maybe like the sole reason, but it's definitely had an impact in some way, which means these cards will hold their value even more. So not only is this set hard to get not only is this set hard to get these cards in the first place when you're trying to pull them, booster packs are getting more and more expensive, and you know, a whole bunch of them got taken out of the market. So it is going to be interesting to see how well this card performs towards the end of the year, but it is moving. There you have it, guys. Those are just some cards that have been moving recently. Like I say, Scarlet and Violet era, some of the cards are actually on the rise, especially if they are good, strong playability cards, and we've seen that across the board. But then there have been cards like the Charizard which have dropped in value. I do feel like it's going to be interesting to see how well a lot of the Scarlet and Violet era sets will do. I mean, 151 is just defying everything at the moment, which is actually incredible. We have Palladium Fates around the corner. It's going to be really interesting to see how well the cards move in the market. I expect a lot of them to come out at a high price and then drop like they usually do. However, there are usually some cards in some sets which break this trend. We saw it with 151, we saw it with the Gold Giratina from Crown Zenith, and it's going to be interesting to see how things go moving forward with the set. I mean, we have Roaring Moon, again, that dropped. That was a card that defied the odds and came out and went up by $40 in value and is now back down to where it was when it first came out. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these cards will perform in Palladium Fates. But the market is moving. It's going to be really interesting. Maybe now's the time for you to pick up some of these single cards that you're missing in your collection. I'm thinking the same thing. Not just Sword and Shield. You can also look at Scarlet and Violet. If you made this far into the video, guys, and you've enjoyed it, make sure to smash that like button and make sure to hit that subscribe button. And let me know down in the comments what are your thoughts on these moving cards. Do you think now's a great time to pick these up? What do you think about that Gengar? Do you think those cards that were magically found had an impact or not? I think they did, and I think Fusion Strike is such a brutal set. A card like Gengar is gonna keep climbing. But speaking about Palladium Fates, if you know what the top 10 most expensive cards are from Palladium Fates, then make sure to click the video on screen right now. And if you watch more Pokemon content, guys, you know what to do. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. Alright guys, that's it from me in this video. Thank you all so much for watching. As always, you guys are legends, and I'll see you in the next one.